What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be showcasing to you guys exactly why Call of Duty is going down the drains. And even though they are planning on fixing a bunch of things and sending out surveys, and now all of a sudden they want to, try to communicate a little bit more with the community, even if they do fix everything up to the T, I guarantee that because of this one exact thing, the game will still continuously fail, and games like XDefiant that you see here will gain more traction. Now, of course, before we go ahead and hop into the topic of today's video, I do want to mention, as usual, if you guys want to help us out on the grind of 50,000 subscribers, don't forget to go ahead and hit the sub button and also the bell notification button as well. If you really do enjoy this content, if you enjoy commentaries, especially about FPS games, Call of Duty, XDefiant, Battlefield, anything that you could possibly think of, then by all means, like I said, this is the channel for you. And also, if you do want a little bit of extra content that's not just video format, I do live stream pretty much every single day, besides Sundays, on both Twitch and Kick. I've been mixing it up a bit because I don't want to, leave either or platform. I'll be streaming on Kick today. So the link to that, like I said, is down in the description of this video, starting around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, if you guys want to chat it up with me, catch me live and in action, and just squad up with us, of course. We always do open lobbies every single time we go live. Then by all means, like I said, tune into the streams. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been grinding out a ton of XDefiant, and for one specific reason, honestly, to really see how this matchmaking system is going to turn out. Because in the first closed beta, they went ahead and said there was no skill-based matchmaking. For the second closed beta, they said since it turned out so good and everybody enjoyed it, they're going to transfer over to the second closed beta. And I'm assuming after this closed beta, since it's still turning out absolutely fantastic, they're going to transfer over to the overall full game. But I really did want to try out the game a lot, put in a ton of time, actually low-key kind of sweat, compete, try to get a good KD, try to get good score, and see how the matchmaking system actually works, if it tracks anything correctly, if I get any competition. And honestly, the way Mark Rubin describes this system is the exact experience I get throughout the overall game. And I gotta say, this right here is basically classic COD. It's the matchmaking of a classic Call of Duty title. As you can see from this tweet right here from Jellybelly, fantastic name. Yo, is there some kind of skill-based matchmaking in XDefiant? Like an initial 5-game trail type thing to determine a skill bracket. I noticed I was getting destroyed in the first few games, but then it kind of evened out. Basically, he or she is describing the Call of Duty matchmaking system, right? That's basically how this is going down here. Call of Duty tracks you for about 5 to 10 games, I would say. Very hardcore to see how you're playing in that current moment. Not your overall, just in that current moment. And then they absolutely go at you, basically. And they also go ahead and track your overall score as well to keep you in an overall bracket. But they always hyper-focus every single game that you play, no matter what. And then obviously, like I said, they fine-tune it and they make sure you're in the top-tier matches no matter. It's a disaster. But Mark Rubin responds saying, so there is no skill-based matchmaking on matchmaking. We do use MMR to balance the teams once the lobby is made. If you are a new player, your MMR hasn't been calculated yet, so the results may be a little off until you play more, and we have MMR per mode. Now, this right here, like I said, is classic matchmaking, and it's the exact system that I feel while playing XDefiant. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The game does become a bit sweaty, but to be realistic with you guys, I really don't think games will ever not be sweaty anymore, especially FPS titles. Realistically, it's rough to think of. It's rough to want to admit. I've been hoping that the removal of skill-based matchmaking would fix this overall crisis that we've been running into, but it's not. The overall community is just naturally sweaty. It's very true. The overall community is just simply good. There are people who are coming into the mix who are a little fresh, but the majority of people who are playing Call of Duty at least played 1 or 2 FPS games before, and they have that general fundamental, concept of what an FPS game is. They know basically what they're doing. They just have to get used to the new controls, the new sensitivity, and then they go at it. But at the end of the day, that is not what you should be focusing on, when it comes to skill-based matchmaking being removed. If that's what you want, if you want bot lobbies, if you want to verse people who are severely under your bracket, people who, should not be where you are at all, that's wrong. The reason we want no skill-based matchmaking is for variety in gameplay. That's what we want. We want a variety of experiences to keep things fresh. The problem with Call of Duty is that when you go to casual, you don't get a variety of experiences. You get the same game over and over and over and over. It's ranked. And again, that's fun. People do enjoy that. People do enjoy versing, similar competition, getting better and better to beat that competition, to improve, so on and so forth. That's fantastic. But leave that in ranked. When it comes to casual, people hop on casual because they want to play casually. It doesn't mean we want to verse noobs. It doesn't mean we want to stomp out lobbies completely. It just means we want to play casually. We want to have multiple different experiences. So basically, in XDefiant, the way it works is, like I said, just like in old school classic Call of Duty. It prioritizes connection first, always first. It finds a bunch of people on a similar connection, and then when it finds that lot of individuals of a variety of players, it balances those players when you're in the actual game itself. So obviously, if you're in a 6-man party, you're probably going to be versing other, 4 or 5, maybe even 6-man parties, right? But if you're playing solo, this is fantastic because it's going to balance the teams. It's going to make everything even on both sides, while at the same time prioritizing your connection 110%. It's never going to put you out in anywhere else. Well, maybe it will. We'll have to see. But, with how the system is supposed to be implemented, it's not going to put you anywhere else besides what is best for you or what will give you the quickest match if it's taking too long. But you don't have to worry about any, the freaking algorithms behind the scenes, any patents being made for anything to finesse you with your aim, with, what you're doing in the game, with, how you're buying stuff in the game. None of this nonsense is going to affect your gameplay. It's connection all day, every day. It finds a bunch of people around your connection, and then when everybody is in the lobby, it balances out everybody perfectly. The next step, I would say, is to just not cancel out lobbies anymore. Disbanding lobbies is such a weird idea. I believe it started with COD, didn't it? And now every game is copying it. Even Battlefield COD. It's so weird. We don't even have server browsers in Battlefield unless you go to Portal. It's very strange. But if they remove disbanding lobbies, that's going to be outstanding, because then you can just literally cycle through the same people, and the game can continuously balance out the teams to make for the best experiences, the most fun. And that's what I get out of this game. I get, some sweats, I get some, more casual players, maybe some people who are just coming into the game. It's an overall mix everywhere, and I enjoy that. And it honestly looks like a lot of you guys enjoy that as well, because no matter what skill level you are, there will be a way for you to play. There will be people that you can kill. There's going to be people who will also be on your same level. There might be people who are absolutely better than you that you can learn from and then use those abilities against, other. There's, like I said, it's variety in gameplay. It's the best possible thing you could ever have. And Mark Rubin even went further, like I said, in that same tweet that he made, saying that each mode is going to have its own MMR. This, once again, is outstanding. Instead of it just tracking your overall stats, and no matter what game mode you go into, it forces you into the same competitive lobby. It's going to track based off the mode that you're playing. So if you're going and you're playing Domination, and then, Kill Confirmed, let's say they add Kill Confirmed into the game, and you go over to Kill Confirmed, since you're MMR, since you haven't played any Kill Confirmed, you're going to have a different level, basically. They're going to treat you a tad bit differently. Now, this might become a problem a little bit, but I can't imagine. Like I said, if a good player is good, they'll get their MMR up in a couple of matches. But if a player is truly struggling trying to learn the game mode, it will help them get into the game mode and learn instead of forcing them into high competitive lobbies because they were playing a different mode before and they're racking up their skill in that mode. And, instead of forcing them into the same, people who might be maining the new mode, they're going to give them a nice, even layout, something that they can get used to the environment with. All in all, this is fantastic. And like I said, it does not even end there, ladies and gentlemen. He is even implementing, or not just Mark Rubin, but, the overall studio is implementing a feature that the Call of Duty community has been asking for a long time to return, since the OG days of World at War boot camp. Yes, indeed, as you can see right here. But what we will have when the game goes live is a welcome playlist. Yes! So only players under a certain player level will have access to that. That won't be based on skill, but it will at least allow new players to get more familiar with the game before playing against veterans. Outstanding. Outstanding, because this is one of the main reasons why they have skill-based matchmaking in COD, is for new players to be protected at all costs. But there's going to be a specific playlist for new players to play with other new players so they can get, their feet wet. They can understand the game, and then they get thrown into the rest of the mix, which, like I said, once again, it's going to balance it out, but it's not going to be as casual as those first initial matches that they can get used to the overall experience with. They can find their sensitivity, they can fine-tune the movement in the game, they can understand the abilities, what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to play, and by the time that they're, they learn all that stuff, they'll probably be ranked up enough to leave this playlist, and they can go on to the rest of the crowd and learn more, and obviously have a good time with the game. Like I said, this is something that we have been asking for in Call of Duty for ages now to help with reducing the skill-based matchmaking, but they refuse to add it. It's just insane to me that this development team is adding literally everything that we have requested for COD. And again, we don't know if it's going to work, if it's not going to work. I've had plenty of sweaty matches in XDefiant. I'm not going to lie about that. I've been sweating a bit, but like I said, at least they're doing it. They're giving it a try. That's all we ask. I don't know why we can never test stuff out in Call of Duty. It's like everything has to be set in stone the second the game launches, and all of our feedback is completely useless. The way Mark Rubin has been describing this whole scenario is that they can just change it with the flip of a switch. They're literally making it seem like it's that easy. If they want skill-based matchmaking on, they're going to flip the switch on, and if they want it off, they'll flip it off. And if it's that simple, then I don't see why it's such a big deal in COD. I don't see why over half the things are such a big deal in COD. Dead silence, normal working minimaps, adding a freaking prestige system back in the game. Nobody wants to just give us prestiges back. It's like... It's just mental to me that they won't even test or try anything. They just don't care. They don't care about what we say, what we do, nothing. And like I said, even if they do care and they start to fix up the game, they still won't have the balls to drop skill-based matchmaking from the overall title. It's ridiculous. I'm starting to think it's up to Activision. I'm really starting to genuinely think it's Activision who is holding back these developers. I had a whole nother commentary that I want to talk about with this, because don't you think it's a little sus that, now they're so, like before, Sledgehammer Games claimed that Activision is in control of skill-based matchmaking, and here we are, Mark Rubin, with under Ubisoft is saying, oh yeah, we could just flip this, on, off, on, off, on, off. It's like, does Ubisoft just not care? Mark Rubin, he's so open to talk about all the games and, the successes, the failures, like, is it just more lenient over there? Is Activision just got, who knows, man, who knows? But at the end of the day, no skill-based matchmaking is fantastic in XDefiant. And again, there are going to be sweaty games. You have to expect that. But at the end of the day, this is exactly what the community requested. This is exactly what the community wanted. And here it is, right before us. And honestly, I've been having a pretty good time. And when the full game launches, it's only going to get better for casual players, because they already confirmed that they'll be launching a ranked mode. So not only is there no skill-based matchmaking, not only is there a beginner's bracket for people who are just getting into the game, but on top of all of that stuff, there's going to be a ranked mode. So for anybody who does want to be competitive, anybody who does want to sweat, casual isn't the only spot they can go. They can actually enjoy the game. And this game is fun competitively. It's not like Modern Warfare 2 where it's tedious and everything just feels so pointless sometimes between the gunfights. No, every engagement honestly feels outstanding, and you feel like you're trying to one-up each other every single time. You're constantly learning. You're constantly trying to evolve. It's great. It's tons of fun. So ranked is going to be a blast in XDefiant. So trust me, sweats are definitely going to go there. Casuals, even though sweats, pub stompers are still going to be in casuals regardless. With the MMR system in place, at least it will balance out the lobbies to make them more, balanced in between. They'll always prioritize connection. To me personally, it's just nothing but a bunch of W's here. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button. Say hate it, leave a dislike. Also, for brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and that notification button. Also, want to chat with this, do so, Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games, do it over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.